everybody else daily. This is kind of my full-time thing now. I publish books and, on Amazon Fire TV and some stuff like that. But that's pretty much all I do now is the books and run the telecom company. So, hey, we should be live right now. I'm going to double check on Facebook real quick. Just make sure that we're live before we waste your podcast interview here.
Yep.
Let's see there. And normally I get a pop-up from Facebook, but I'm not seeing it just yet. So let me see what's going on here. Okay, yeah, we're live right now. Okay, cool. Hey, Herbert, hey, thanks so much. I am honored to be on your podcast.
Thank you.
Let me introduce you real quick here. So for my audience that's watching, this is Herbert Perez, and he runs the Real Estate Philosophy podcast. And I'm just honored to be a guest. I know you're just getting started out. You said I'm like your second guest, so I'm really excited I'm excited and honored that you chose to interview me on your podcast.
Thank you.
Well, cool, man. We can get started if you're ready.
All right. So, Curtis, so what exactly do you do?
So I have, I started out originally, and I've failed at a whole lot more businesses than I ever succeeded at. So I started out, I've had a pharmaceutical company, a cosmetic medical laser franchise, a Christian clothing company, built a site that was built to compete with Craigslist, and we ended up with over 25,000 people daily spamming the site with, pornography and all kinds of different, escort services and junk. So we shut that down because I just could not keep up with the trash that was going on there. And I didn't have a developer on staff at the time. I was just kind of learning. But so now I have a company called bestcellular.com, which is a telecommunications company. So we serve all 50 states, customers all over, and doing about 250,000 customers a month there. And then I just recently published my 4th book, which is called How to Be Successful, Think Like a Leader. And this is actually the old book cover. The new one on Amazon is a little bit cooler, but
all right.
And podcast, I'm on Amazon Fire TV, and just I'm gonna get to live the life that I love right now, talking with cool people and just creating content and enjoying life. So it's been a good thing to move out of that corporate world.
Now, Curtis, that book, the How to Be Successful book, can you explain to me or the audience, obviously, on how the book? Just give me like a brief summary of how the book is.
Okay, so I actually started out. The book actually came from real similar to what you're doing right now, interviewing successful people. Where you, not that I'm calling myself successful, but with the podcast, I'd get on and interview these just incredible people that. The inventor of the MP3 player, Jeff Wobig is just a stud Navy SEAL team sniper, investors, inventors, athletes, Netflix stars, all kinds of different really cool folks, and interviewing them about how they become successful, the hurdles that they overcame, and also basically their insights on how to be successful. So as I was writing these. I was doing these interviews, I'm going, man, some of these stories are just absolutely amazing, and they should be shared more than with just my little audience on my podcast that probably had, just a few hundred listeners at the time. And so I started putting those interviews into blog posts and later turned that into a book. And so I actually wrote that book before I released my first 3 books, but I kind of built those up trying to get that following and stuff. But it's been great. I went through and I asked them all the same, pretty similar list of questions about their views on success and just, living a positive life and stuff. And interviewed, one guy was an ex-con, spent time in prison, and he came out, turned his life around, and now he's very successful financially. Another guy is a good friend of mine that's a preacher, and, he's done very well. Another guy is an investment, he's a mergers and acquisition specialist.
Okay.
So pretty much any part of the spectrum you can look at and go, you can associate with one of those figures and kind of figure out what they did to be successful. So it's a really neat thing, and I learned a lot writing the book.
Yeah, it's crazy how the internet, you could talk to a lot of people from the internet that are very successful, and it's pretty simple to talk to as well. I have another question. How do you start off your day as a successful person?
So what I do, I appreciate you saying that. My first thing that I'm trying to do right now, every day, is get up and do some type of exercise. So whether it's out walking the dog or whatever it is, just kind of get your heart beating and get breathing hard a little bit. Um, Actually, Jeff Wobig, that Navy SEAL sniper, is the one that was telling me that. With he gets up every day, does some kind of something to make himself sweat, something to get. So it doesn't have to be terrible, but just something to get your heart beating hard and a little bit of a sweat, and then just kind of makes your day a lot better. So I was mountain biking, doing some real crazy biking and stuff 2 years ago, and broke my leg in 19 places. And I drove a metal rod up through my knee, so I was in the hospital 23, 24 days. Just a crazy thing. So now I'm not doing any of the, the bodybuilding, weightlifting, and all the crazy stuff that I was doing.
Yeah.
It's, my exercise for the day is walking the dog. Something a whole lot less exciting, but
Yeah, I understand. One more question. The audience and I want to know, how do you keep yourself motivated on a daily basis when you have a lot of work to do? How do you get motivated?
that's a good question. So we all, I mean, anybody I know struggles with staying motivated up 100% of the time. And I used to let that get me real down where I'm going, man, I don't know why, I was working 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. Just, I had no life because I was running cell phone companies and retail stores and pharmaceutical company, all these different businesses, and just chasing that money, but did not enjoy life. And so I had a real hard time staying. I was working like guts out, but wasn't really being that productive because I was just, I didn't have anything that I really enjoyed doing. So I owned 3 retail stores, and I lived in the back of one of the stores. Lived in like the broom closet kind of thing in the back of the store. There was no shower, so I'd have to go to the gym each morning to shower because it was no shower. No, I had a little motel-sized refrigerator in there, and just life sucked. But making good money and had a bunch of employees. But so now what I'm doing, I'm pursuing happiness, making that a passion. I mean, making that a point to pursue things that make me happy and make other people happy, rather than just chasing money. And so,
Okay.
like I said, doing a lot more where, the bills were taken care of. So I figured I'd start doing the podcasting and writing books and stuff that I loved, and
Okay.
did not realize that now that would turn into a very profitable business as well.
Yeah, so I would say that in order to be successful, you need to take a lot of sacrifice. Do you agree on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For most people, unless you are, you can dunk without practicing and you can shoot a half court shot, or you're a 300-pound lineman, just jacked guy built where you could just go sign on the NFL. But that doesn't even happen for them. If anybody that's going to be real good at whatever they're doing has to make a lot of sacrifices. So. I'm liking this format too. Typically when people are, I'm doing these podcast interviews, I think your video might have froze. Say when we're doing these podcast interviews, a lot of times we have, it looks like your video's froze. I'll keep talking here and see if you come back. So what I meant is there, I'm usually got these scripted questions where they've asked me, they've got a list of questions they've presented beforehand, and I'm reading through the questions and trying to figure out what my response is going to be. And then I can have a good planned response. But this is kind of fun to be able to just kind of freestyle it, I guess. Oh, looks like you fell off there. All right, I'm going to end the stream right now. Sorry about that.